Within our mental faculty, there are 5 different types of brainwave variations, which we can choose to activate consciously and voluntarily. Either way, in each cycle within a day, we experience at least 4 out of 5 types of brain waves completely naturally. The external authorities of the Matrix are fully aware of the fact that people can be manipulated through the Hertz waves of the media and thus influence the brain waves at any given moment. The manipulation of external triggers on the brainwaves of humanity gives the Matrix a huge advantage by inserting hidden messages into advertisements, films, headlines, and social networks. This is a main component in promoting products, medications, or models of behavior through intimidation and direct appeal to subconscious desires. With that being said, if we know how to activate brain waves in a conscious way, we have the key to balancing the nervous system, healing and receiving information, and retrieving dormant memories. Beta brainwaves are the default mode for the standard human mental activity today. Beta waves are active when the system feels stress, fear, anger, or any other type of survival mode. These are the brain waves that are active when we have to overcome stressful or dangerous situations. Beta brain waves are active whenever our nervous system enters a state of sympathetic activity, a state of fight or flight, and in some cases even freeze response. Although today most of us don't have to run from lions and tigers, the collective human psychological state is getting worse and worse every year. Almost every person today is under different levels of stress during the day, at work, at home, in interpersonal communication with other people, accompanied by an inner mental state of psychological defects, staging projections, fear, self-blame, and anger at others. When you are drawn into idle negative thoughts from your subconscious, you will be the passive director of mental subconscious projections that will lead you straight into situations of violence, winning arguments with other people, mental projections of sexual desires, intellectual justifications, doubt, skepticism, and self-pride. Beta waves are active when adrenaline flows through the body. This is not a position from which you want to make decisions or react to what is happening in the external world, unless you need to run or fight for your life. When we are on beta waves, we do not recognize metaphors or spiritual lessons. We are drawn into the narrative as active actors of egoic desires and traumas. In beta waves, we sleep with our eyes open. These are waves of rational thinking for the survival and justification of unconscious thoughts and actions. The intellect is a puppet on strings, dancing to the sounds of selfish desires and anger. These are our psychological defects, or in other words, the subconscious. Take your thinking with limited liability. Thinking is not in the field of true understanding. Alpha waves, the Matrix wants you to be anxious and on beta waves throughout the day. But that doesn't mean it won't utilize and manipulate your alpha waves during the evening. Alpha waves are related to our ability to mentally relax and open up the potential to receive suggestions. You experience alpha waves every time you listen to radio broadcasts or music, watch news on TV, watch movies or commercials or any other media content that requires your attention energy. In the state of alpha waves, the shell of the ego weakens. Suggestions from the outside are received with less resistance. The nervous system is on parasympathetic activation. This is the fastest and most effective way to embed fear and connect to our subconscious desires. Through stimulation and intimidation, the Matrix makes people buy products, accept suggestions of obedience, etc. But we can use alpha waves in a conscious and positive way. The first step is, of course, to sacrifice and give up all the mainstream media and its predictions. If you do this, the level of inner balance will naturally rise. Alpha waves are activated naturally in the evening before sleep. At the end of the day, the average person tries to relax in front of the television. As long as there are no radical external disturbances, the alpha waves will continue to operate until we fall asleep. If we are mentally and emotionally balanced, alpha waves in their conscious form will be activated. As long as we are not busy with actions that require our complete attention, alpha waves start to work when we practice pranayama, sit for meditation, do observation and gratitude practices. Alpha waves are active when we pray or chant or perform conscious visualization. If we know how to use alpha waves in its positive form, we can learn skills and abilities faster. We are more open to receiving intuitive information, less resistant to positive suggestions, which is why we need to filter out any negative and polluting content that is produced by the matrix. When you do the esoteric work of releasing emotional blockages and eliminating psychological defects, you are wiring your system to operate at levels of consciousness that are beyond human dramas and daily conflicts. When the external reality stops being a trigger for negative emotions, your brain waves will work on alpha state permanently. Theta waves, naturally, theta waves start to work as soon as we enter the dream phase. Each person dreams on average 4-5 cycles of dreams during sleep. Most of humanity dreams in a lunar, unconscious way. During the dream, they identify with the narrative completely, without asking questions, without knowing that they are in a dream. They accept the reality of the narrative without any resistance, unaware of the fact that they are not inside the physical body where they used to be during waking hours. This directly reflects on the fact that most people also dream while they are awake in their physical body. When the theta waves are active, we see the astral world sharply and clearly. Unfortunately, most of humanity is not aware of their astral bodies. They do not take the information of their dreams seriously. They think that these are just random and mental variations that originate from unresolved conflicts. Although this is partially true, it is only a small part of a much bigger picture. We will elaborate on this in the Dreams and the Astral World chapter. When our body is in a state of theta, our system receives information. Theta waves are activated consciously and voluntarily when we enter deep meditation and dwell on an object or a psychological defect. All the conscious astral journeys you're going to experience and carry out consciously will be with active theta waves. The more psychological defects you destroy through esoteric work, the higher the standard of your emotional and mental vibration, the more relaxed your metaphysical system will become. The alpha waves will gradually convert themselves into theta waves that will work even during waking hours. People who are in a natural and consistent theta state connect to visual or auditory information voluntarily and effortlessly. Such access to information requires a mental state that is quiet, calm, and detached from intellect. Authentic theta mode is the only way to channel authentic information. People who claim to perform theta healing and only imagine intellectually are lying to themselves and to their clients. This is not theta healing, but beta and alpha healing. People who have not illuminated the Kundalini confuse their visions with lust and self-pride. Even if they see, their vision is contaminated with subconscious defects. Only people with a very high vibration are on consistent theta waves of pure information. Pure information cannot come through ego. Delta waves. Everyone experiences delta waves during deep dreamless sleep. When the brain is on delta waves, the body undergoes rapid regeneration and recovery. The rapid and radical recovery that the body experiences during prolonged delta waves is a topic that has been documented and proven by putting people into extremely deep states of hypnosis. When we consciously enter a state of samadhi, or in other words, complete union with the object we are meditating on, our brain waves are on a delta. There is a temporary disconnection of the ego at different levels of intensity. This is the stage where we go through an experience of complete spiritual enlightenment. Any state of samadhi leads to a radical revolution of consciousness. People who reach the state of nirvana raise their function to a chronic state of delta, which is defined as sahaja samadhi. People who are in sahaja samadhi are people without personality. Their human identity is dead. What speaks through the avatar is the soul or spirit, depending on the progress of the Kundalini. People who are on Sahaja Samadhi attain a spiritual status beyond good and evil. They are a direct conduit of divine information, angels, gods, and universal principles. To be on delta waves while awake means to be in the consciousness of synchronization with no thoughts or ego at all. This is the highest and most advanced brainwave level. Gamma waves, all the brainwaves that we have mentioned so far, make a natural rotation in every day that passes. One way or another, you all experience the beta, alpha, theta, and delta brainwaves whether you like it or not. Gamma waves, on the other hand, are not experienced by most people. And the reason is that most people do not engage in creation, but in repetitive mechanical actions. Gamma waves begin to operate when we are completely devoted to activity or insight. This is a state of radical flow. in which we communicate information without thinking about it. We produce words, ideas, music, and art in an intuitive and effortless way. This is the peak performance of conscious creation in full synchronization. This is conscious and active use of superior emotional and intellectual centers. In a state of gamma, we are a link that connects superior data into the world of matter. These are the waves that enable moments of creative genius, finding solutions, connecting points and insights, understanding, high productivity, and a positive attitude without egoistic objections. These are waves that are experienced as cosmic synchronicity and inspiration. For those of us who have opened our hearts to independent creation and active earthly initiation, one of the causes of suffering is the fact that most people are completely hypnotized. They accept their internal and external narrative without any questions. Humanity traded their free consciousness for deceiving comforts. People respond to reality in a mechanical way, with active beta waves. Later at home in front of screens, on alpha waves, they resist positive ideas while easily accepting negative suggestions. This is what is considered to be normal today, to live in a state of stress, anger, anxiety, jealousy, survival, or acceptance of negative vibrations sponsored by the media. But people don't ask questions. They don't want to know how to heal themselves or how to balance the nervous system. They don't understand that their body is an advanced technology and all they need is just to know how to activate it properly. We need to learn which buttons to press, how and when to produce alpha, theta, delta, and gamma waves at will. The esoteric work and the esoteric spiritual practices are our way to activate different brain waves in a conscious and voluntary way in order to reach information, insights, and healing. In the esoteric work, we experience directly, using techniques of deep meditation in varying intensities, astral projection, breath work, mantras, prayers, and sexual alchemy work. We expand and elaborate on each of these techniques in depth in a practical way, so you can practice daily and independently. It is our responsibility to know how to activate our metaphysical faculties.